everybody. Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised on the Radio. I am one half of the show. I am Colt Brocato. My good friend Patrick Blair in Zoom land, as usual, did not record last week. My fault. I was in Chicago for a work event, doing a fuckload of walking, going around to all these booths where like they had like robotic stuff set up and like big machines and all this other stuff, trying to find that I work for and stuff. So that's what I was doing. So that's why we did not record. I did have the best steak of my life at Michael Jordan's Steakhouse, which you have eaten at, correct?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. That was the one at your hotel?
Yeah.
Man, that was pricey. And what cut of beef did you have?
It was a 14-ounce New York strip.
Okay. And it was how much?
$63.
Okay. And then they had Wagyu on the menu, but it was not. Where was it from?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at the.
But you said you've never had Wagyu, right?
I have not. But then you broke it down to me too about how like it's not real Wagyu, or unless it's from Japan, it's not considered Wagyu.
No, it is. They can call it that.
Wagyu?
But I mean, beef purists will not consider it to be real Wagyu. Now,
why is that? Is it because it just doesn't come from the right place? It's still prepared.
Yeah, because it did not come from Japan. The way the cow is raised, the way everything is done is specific to Japan. Now, again, I'm no connoisseur. I've had Wagyu from somewhere other than Japan, and I've had it from Japan. Both were delicious to me. I couldn't tell you which one necessarily was better and for what reasons. But I get it. I get if people want to get like, super protective of the craft, if you will.
Yeah.
But here's an important question. How do you get your steak?
I normally go medium because I'm okay with medium rare, but a lot of times they still don't cook medium to medium. So I normally fall within those two.
Okay. See, I usually go rare and hope it comes medium rare.
Yikes.
There's a lot of places. Well, look, dude, if you're not at a place like you were at, and I don't know, I've never been there. But I mean, if you're at like a basic sort of like, we serve a sirloin or we serve a fucking filet or whatever, it's like they're likely going to overcook it. And so I always go undercooked and hope that it comes the way that I want it.
But if it comes out rare, you're fine with it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's totally fine.
I don't know. It's a little too much.
Well, there's a difference between raw and rare. Right?
That's true.
So like, I know the difference, and I'll tell you, like, no, that's raw. I'll Gordon Ramsay the fuck out of that steak and be like, no. Take that shit back. But, well, I'm glad you got to go to that place. That looked, I mean, the menu was awesome. That would have been a place where I was like, all right, I'm going for broke at this place. I would have ordered the most expensive cut of beef for sure.
I mean, the most expensive thing I think you could have got would be that they have a platter. It's like a sampler of different types of beef, but it was like $260.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to pay that much.
It's kind of silly.
I barely did what I did, but I wasn't paying for it. Technically, the company was paying for it. So I went ahead and went all out for it. But was it the best steak I've ever had? Possibly. Would I spend that much money again on a steak if I was doing it myself? No, because the taste difference between that one and like going to Texas Roadhouse is not enough for a $40 to $50 difference.
Dare you? I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with Texas Roadhouse.
I am too. That's my point.
I'm okay. I mean, of the chain restaurants where you like, of the chain, that one is up there for me. And what's the 54th Street Grill?
I don't think
Have you been to one of those?
Now,
I will say, I went to one recently. It was before the 3 Days Grace Wage War show.
Mm-hmm.
And the food quality has gone way down from what I remember. Okay. So when my wife was in college, she actually worked there. She was a waitress there. And she would always, rant and rave about, fresh ingredients. We make our own ranch. We do this, we do that. And the first time I went there, I was like, Jesus Christ, this place is the bomb. Like, fuck Applebee's. Like, why would you ever want to go back to a Chili's after you have this? It was good. And then
Yeah.
I was there and I was watching and it wasn't even anything that I had to eat. I was just watching the plates come out to people around me at the bar. And I was like, ooh, that looks like shite. So I don't know if it was the one I was at or if their, standards have gone down, which is completely possible because of the pandemic and because, amongst other things. Don't want to completely blame it on that, but like, I was like, oh no, but yeah, Texas Roadhouse, dude, they have good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
they
okay
do.
with that. I would
Yeah.
go to one of those.
Right.
Like
And
if
but
you were
that's
like, if
but
you were
that's my
like
point.
invited me to dinner and you were like, get me in the car, and then I'd be like, oh, by the way, where are we going? If you said Texas Roadhouse, I'd be like, all right, cool. If you're like, oh, we're going to Applebee's, I'd be like, fucking let me out, dude. I'll fucking I'll fucking walk to Wendy's. Like I'm not. Let me out of the car.
Yeah. But that's my point though. Like Texas Roadhouse, I can get a really good steak and walk out of there with like a $30 tab on my own.
I will
Versus
be honest. I've never
paying
had a
70.
steak at a place like that. That's
Where?
not a place that I would order a steak at.
At Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah, no,
Dude,
no.
you're missing out.
Okay, I'll try it. I always get, I go for safe shit when I'm at a place like that, but it's good.
Yeah.
And the portions are astronomical. Like why they think any one person needs to eat. Oh, wait, that guy looks like he's had 6 beers. We should probably take him a heaping amount of anything. Like that's me. But yeah, no, I mean, no, I've never had a steak there, but I'll try it.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely need to.
I don't know. Yeah, I just when it comes to me ordering a steak at a restaurant, it needs to be kind of a special place. It can't be a chain. I don't know that I've ever ordered a steak
Well,
from a chain. Well, let me ask you this. Forget about that. When you're
Okay.
at home, how do you cook your steaks?
Meat. I'm gonna go medium normally.
No. Like, how do you prepare them? What do? You grill them?
Oh
What do you
yeah,
do?
grill for sure.
And you have a gas grill?
I've got both, but normally we do gas because it's easier.
See, here's the thing. If I'm cooking a steak at home, it's going in a cast iron skillet with butter.
There you go. Okay.
Every time.
I'm with
Every
you there.
time.
Yeah.
Usually. I mean, it depends on what type of cut we get, but it's typically, I typically go sirloin, put that fucking bitch in a fucking cast iron. Because my wife and I both like it pretty rare. So 5 minutes, 6 minutes tops, And then you let it, do you let your steak sit? Do you let them rest? This is a very important question.
You mean like after they've been cooked?
Yes. Or do you just take it off the grill and start eating that bitch?
No, I normally let it sit for a bit.
Okay. See, I give it about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah. Even if it's cast iron skillet, even still, because I still let it. It's just I don't know what it is, but
Let's say, do you have a reasoning on why 10 minutes?
it's the way I was taught to cook a steak. Any red meat, actually, that's the way I was taught to cook it. Just let the meat rest. Let it, I don't know. I trust the person who told me this. I trust them more than myself. So
okay,
whatever. I don't know, but
okay.
But speaking of red meat, this is a weird transition I'm about to make, but it has to be
I'm
done.
ready for the segue. I'm curious on where this is going.
Did you hear about the Boston Celtics head coach?
No.
Do you know his name?
No.
Because it's not an easy name to say for most white people. So his name is Ime Udoka. But
okay, I know the name.
He was going into his second year as head coach. He, took them to the finals last year. They should have won, in my opinion. They were winning. They were the better team. Nonetheless, he has been suspended today by the Celtics for what they're saying could be the entire season because he had a consensual. I want you to remember that I said that word, consensual relationship with a staff member. Okay. Which goes against their company guidelines or whatever is in their handbook. Okay. Now, when this story broke, what's very important to know is that it was leaked to the media. Okay. Now, the media, being ESPN, I think was the first to get the story, did not say who leaked it. And they also, and when they first reported it, didn't say what he did. So it took basically the entire day for us to find out that, oh, he had a intimate relationship with a member of the Celtic staff. Now, is that against the law? No. Is it against their guidelines? Perhaps. Maybe they didn't disclose. And I don't know how that works. Usually in the corporate world, if you disclose the relationship, you can't get in trouble for it. Right?
Right.
Well, here's why people have a lot of problems with this is like for 10 years, he's been linked to being in a relationship with the actress Nia Long. So clearly he's doing some running around, if you will. No reports. Neither one of them have come out and been like, no, we've been separated or we're not, whatever. They haven't said if they're in an open relationship, but from what everyone knows about them is that they're in a relationship and it's not open. Okay.
So what you're saying is that this is a media shitstorm, and if it was if it was you, making the calls here, he wouldn't be fired because of this, because it's still a personal situation.
That's an important. I'm glad you asked that.
But it's in the media now, so that backlash comes on the Celtics.
Well, look, but I'm glad you brought that up, and that's an important distinction to make here, and this is why I have a problem with this. He's not being fired. So clearly they want him to stick around. He didn't do enough to get fired. He just broke company policy, which is worthy of a suspension. So my question is, if the Celtics leaked it to the media, which it sounds like who the fuck else would have, why did you do that? It's this guy's business.
Right.
Why does anyone else need to know about it?
Right.
Yeah. If the media goes, well, like you leak it to the media, you at first don't say why he's being suspended. If they go, well, why is he being suspended? All you have to do is keep saying, well, he broke company policy, and you don't have to give a timeline. You don't have to say how long he's being suspended, but for them to now go, well, yeah, he had a consensual, very important. Again, I want to bring this up, consensual relationship with a staff member. But now you're putting his personal business out in the open because people know him to have been linked to this actress and being in relationships. So now he looks like a shithead in that way, where it's like, couldn't you have, and I know it's not their job to protect him from being a scumbag.
Right. But don't you think they're trying to get out ahead of it? Like, because regardless, if they don't come out and say exactly what he did, they just said he broke company policy or whatever, he's suspended, the media is going to find out. It's going to take a little longer maybe, but the media is going to find out pretty quick exactly why he's being suspended.
I mean, eventually there would have some, there would have been some backdoor shit going on. They would have found his source. But like,
because in that situation too, now the media finds out exactly what's going on. And now they're going to look at the Celtics also and saying, well, they're not saying why. And now they're going to be thinking, well, the Celtics are pulling some shady shit. Why aren't they telling the masses why they're suspending this guy?
Yeah, but if he didn't do anything worthy of being fired, then why is it my only question is like, if it's not a fireable offense, then why is it our business?
I mean,
shouldn't it stay within the company? And I know that we're talking about the NBA, so the company really is the NBA, not the Boston Celtics, but this isn't an NBA policy. This is a Boston Celtics policy. So they could have kept it within the Boston Celtics circle.
Right.
Is what the way that I'm reading it. Now, again, I could be wrong. And again, I think eventually people would have kind of put two and two together. They would have kind of connected the dots and they would have been like, all right, well, this guy, this is what he did, or someone told me this is what he did. They would have found somebody and interviewed him or whatever. But again, it's like, is that really, I don't know. It just feels like this early on seems a bit odd to like announce what it was before you're even announcing whether he's fired or not. Because the way that the story broke is like, this is what he did, but oh, by the way, he's just being suspended.
In a situation like this, isn't it kind of weird too that like if it's not a fireable offense, how is it a suspendable offense?
Well, that's the thing. It's like you don't know what their company. We don't know. We, meaning you and I, the public, don't know what their company handbook looks like. But again, like also, if you're that dude, you're not really disclosing that. to the company because you're in a relationship. So you don't want to look like the bad guy within the company. Now, again, I'm not defending him. Like he pulled a shady move. It was a scumbag move. You cheated on your girl, or you tried to work the system in a way that allowed you to kind of hide this, and you got caught. But like, that's the other thing. How do you get caught? Who told on him?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's
a very
bizarre. We live in a bizarre time where like we're more worried about the crime, meaning we have to prove that you committed a crime more so than like the dude's life, right?
Yeah.
Because once you tell me, oh, you didn't commit a crime, well, then I'm like, well, I don't fucking care. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
He cheated on his girl. Like, that happens a lot. Doesn't mean he's a good guy. Doesn't mean I like him. Doesn't mean I defend it. But that's not something that I feel like I'm not going to crucify the guy for that.
But here's the question. If he's suspended for a year and a year from now, they're still having a consensual relationship, what happens?
Then it looks stupid. That's what I'm saying.
He was suspended for no reason.
Well, not necessarily. Again, if they didn't disclose their relationship.
Right. But do they resuspend him, or do they fire him at that point? Like
no.
Can they say,
well, dude, they're not going to fire that guy. He took him to the NBA finals in his first year as a head coach.
So do they change the policy?
No, I think he just learns his lesson and he moves on. It's like, hey, by the way, if you want to sleep with one of the staff members again, regardless of who it is, you need to disclose it. We have,
yeah,
dude, it's a corporate machine. Like it works the same way as everywhere else. Just because it's professional sports, it doesn't mean there are no loopholes when it comes to this stuff.
I wonder if that's a company or like a team policy just for the staff, or I wonder if that crosses like anybody that's connected to the team whatsoever, like including players.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's all the way across the board, you think?
Well, you would think that players and coaches are on the same level.
Yeah.
I don't know why players would be exempt from this.
Right.
I think players would have an easier time at covering this up and hiding it and keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
Than perhaps he would. I find it bizarre that it got leaked in the first place, unless he was being an honest guy, which they haven't come out and said. I don't know.
I guess I'm thinking I don't want to like make it look like I'm throwing somebody under the bus for any reason, but let's say a big name like LeBron. Let's say LeBron is in the same situation. He had a consensual relationship with another person on the staff of the team. Does he get suspended? Or do they find a way to hide this thing to where nobody knows about it?
I don't think you can use LeBron as the example, dude. I'm just saying. Which, by the way, did you see his shaved head?
I did. I'm not a fan.
What took so long?
I mean, yeah,
that took so long.
That hairline's been running away for a while.
He should have done that when he played with the Miami Heat. What took so long? It looks good.
You think so?
Yeah, with the beard. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Anyway, can I tell you my biggest problem with this whole thing with this coach is like, do you know who Nia Long is?
No, I don't.
God damn you!
I know. I'm sorry.
My biggest problem is like, why are you running around on Nia Long? Nia Long is, come on, pull up a fucking picture of Nia Long.
I'm going to. Here we go.
Come on, bro. You're running around on that girl. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That girl is beautiful. I've had a crush on her since I was 13 years old. What's this guy doing?
I bet she's real happy that as soon as you put her name in too, is that it's all tied to this.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
She was at the finals last year too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. She was there. It's like I said, like, this is a known relationship. Like, people know about this. Like, it's not like, so, naturally she's going to be tied to the situation and her name is going to be out in the public because of the situation. But that's
Yeah.
my biggest problem. It's like, hey, Ime, what are you doing, bro? You got knee along. What the fuck? This staff member better just be. Come on. I mean, let's get real.
Do we have, I mean, do we know what she looks like?
I
mean, her name's got to be out there too, right?
have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they've given the person's identity, man. I would really be surprised if they did that this early in the game anyway. Yeah, no, it doesn't even give a name.
Huh.
It just says female member of the staff. So whatever, man. It's a bummer. It really sucks too, because while I do expect the Cavs to be really good this year, and I have them in the NBA Finals, if they're not, if the Celtics are there, I'm going to be rooting for the Celtics because of Jason Tatum. I don't know what this does to the team. And we don't need to get into that because it's really early to even fucking predict what this does. But let's just say this. The guy replacing Ime Udoka is Joe Mazzulla, and the most coaching experience he has is college Division II. So
nice.
He played Division I basketball, but the highest coaching level he has up to being an assistant in the NBA, head coach wise, is Division II in college. So,
you know what's interesting about you saying that though is that I don't know if we ever actually talked about it, but I know we wanted to talk about it as a topic. And that was, do teams really need a coach? And I think it was because of a Steve Nash thing going on. Yeah. And you basically said no. You said, I mean, you've got 5 guys on the court out there that know what the hell they're doing. So I'm wondering how much that would actually come into play as far as really needing the coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this instance, this guy was a positive influence on that lineup, and I think he was a good coach.
Gotcha.
He also came from the Greg Popovich school of coaching. So I don't know. And you got to think too, the Celtics were really bad in the beginning of the year last year. They turned it around completely after the All-Star break. They went to the NBA Finals. And again, I think they should have won. I think they were the better team.
Yeah.
I think they gave that series away.
Yeah.
So I think in this case, I think he matters. Does Steve Nash matter? Coaching James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant? No, he doesn't fucking matter. He doesn't matter also because those guys had to approve him. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and all the other guys in the Celtics didn't approve Ime Udoka being the coach. He just got hired as the coach. And they go, hey, guys, you have a new coach. You know, it's different. I was mainly referring to those.
What do you have to back that up?
What do you mean?
You just, like, do you know that for a fact?
Oh, yeah. What, that Kyrie and Kevin Durant approved?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a well-known fact. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
No. I would not make that up. I would make that up because I don't like either of those twats. But
so why do you think that it's not the same for the Celtics? Why do you think that none of the players had a say in?
I don't think they have that power yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of the players on that team, have that power. B, I don't know if any of the personalities on that team would want that power.
Okay.
My guess.
Gotcha.
But no, the Nets thing, that's a real thing. Yeah. Durant and I think Steve Nash even admitted that to the media. They're like, yeah, no, they had to approve me. I had to sit down with them or whatever the fuck. So stupid.
Do you think that should be a thing? Or do you think the team, I mean,
no, it should not be a thing. Just take your coach and shut up.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with that, but then again, it's also like, well, you kind of want the team to be able to have a say because, you know, they've got to meld well with a coach. And if you just throw a coach in there, you're forcing it to happen versus if the players kind of have a choice on who they pick. I don't know.
I got a question for you.
I guess there's too much money involved for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I got a question for you though. Is Kevin Durant the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets?
No, and that's a good point.
Is Kyrie Irving?
No, and that's a good point.
Okay, then they both need to shut the fuck up and just play basketball. They're going to play the way they want to play regardless of who the coach is.
Yeah.
No one's going to tell me that the influence of a head coach is going to change the way that those 3 guys, which by the way, one's not even there anymore, those 3 guys would have played that season.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Jason Tatum and all the guys in the Celtics would have played differently, with if Ime Udoka were not there. But again, he seemed to, and this is just from me watching a ton of games, he seemed to have a really good, just positive influence on the court, in the locker room. Like, everybody seemed to speak highly of him and speak, but again, do I think head coaches matter? Yeah, not in the NBA. I think for some teams, yes. And for some players, yes. But for some players, no. But I also think that if you're one of those superstar guys, if you're one of those top 10 guys in the league, you'll get a say over who the coach is, but it doesn't mean that just because you approve the head coach, you don't fall under the same scrutiny that they do.
Right.
I think your play should be criticized just as much as their coaching. Like, for your play to not be criticized as much as their coaching is absurd to me. And this isn't the first time we've seen this with Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant was with the Oklahoma City Thunder, when Harden and Westbrook were there, Scott Brooks took them to the NBA Finals, was named Coach of the Year, and then the following year, he was fired.
Right.
Another full season, they go to the playoffs again, they don't go to the finals, and he was fired. This motherfucker was Coach of the Year last year. He's fired?
Right.
What are we even talking about? Like, it's so silly. You only see this shit in the NBA. In the NFL, like, you see guys get the benefit of the doubt.
I was going to say, like, not as far as the coach goes, but it's kind of the same situation with Jimmy G, right? He was one game out from the Super Bowl last season, and all of a sudden this season he's a backup until now. And then they put him in and they're like, they have to be like, oh yeah, he was supposed to be quarterback.
Oh yeah, we fucked up. Patrick Blair from Raised on the Radio was correct. We should have listened to him.
You weren't right on the timeline.
I was off by a little bit.
Second game.
I was off by how many minutes? How many minutes was I off by? The game has started.
Uh-oh.
Brown Steelers, Thursday Night Football. In Cleveland.
Are you worried?
I'm not worried because Mitchell Trubisky is the starting quarterback for the Steelers. If it were Big Ben, I would be incredibly worried. I don't like how the Browns played last week. I don't like how they finished. I don't like that Nick Chubb came out in front of the media and blamed himself instead of holding his defense accountable. But
another major thing you have going for you is that TJ Watt's hurt.
That is another thing, which I'm okay with. He's not the only one either. Someone else is. I want to say. Maybe not.
I don't remember who it is.
But
I don't know if you watched that Pittsburgh game or not in that first game, but as soon as, like, he knew his pec was tore, like, as soon as it happened.
Yeah. And that's usually one of those that's sorry to cut you off, but that's one of those injuries that guys feel immediately, right? That's not something that you walk off and be like, oh yeah, isn't it?
I think it's like, it's a kind of like a pop. Like, you feel it,
but
especially,
doesn't it send like a shockwave down the rest of your arm? Like, your arm's non-functional for a while, and
something like that. I know I've seen pictures of guys who have done, like, bodybuilders and stuff.
Yeah.
And like their whole bicep and their or everything's purple and black, everything. But I wonder, I don't know if it matters or not, but like when he was coming off the field, you could see him. I watched him tell the coach, it's tore. I know it's torn. I wonder if they tell players not to say anything like that, because it was immediately in the media.
Yeah.
That he was clearly saying it's torn without him actually going back to the back and being medically seen or anything like that. I wonder if that's a thing or if they even care, because it's going to come out no matter what.
Well, I think it's a thing now because I think they want to protect players now. They don't want them to play injured anymore, regardless of the injury.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys are too tough for their own good. And, it's not like it was back in the day where guys would get hurt, play through it, and you wouldn't know they were hurt until like 3 weeks later. Like, oh, he's sitting out because he's been playing with a broken leg. And you're like, what? When did that happen? We didn't even. So, like.
Well, they said Jameis Winston is playing with fractures in his back right now. Like, if you watch him play, he's got a big pad on his back.
But hasn't he had back issues since he came into the league?
I'm not sure.
Since it's like his rookie year. I want to say that's like Maybe it's a reoccurring thing, or maybe this is a new injury. But also, by the way, I'm glad you mentioned him. Have you noticed that? And we don't have to get into this because believe me, I have not done the research. But have you noticed? This is the one thing I have done the research on. Have you noticed that Jameis Winston stealing crab legs back when he was in college got more media coverage than Brett Favre embezzling welfare money?
Oh yeah, that was only like a second that I
I've
heard
seen
about
tidbits
that.
about that. But when Jameis Winston stole crab legs,
Yeah.
it was all over every news channel,
Yeah.
videos, commentary. This motherfucker embezzles money from the government.
There was a lot of big names involved in that though, right? Wasn't it like an insurance scam or something?
It's a big thing, and we haven't heard jack shit about it. How did this guy skate from it? Like, how did he avoid the media attention?
Was there a local guy that
There
was
was a
involved in
local
that?
politician.
No,
Yeah,
like was there a local athlete?
I don't
Or
know.
was it something different? What was Darius Miles in something
That's a different thing.
in the news? It was
We talked about that on a previous show.
Did we? Okay.
Him and a bunch of NBA players were involved in some sort of
Okay.
fucking Ponzi scheme. I don't know what the fuck it was. We talked about it on one of we read the story on one of the episodes. It was him and
everything we talk about melds together. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I'm actually just scrolling right now, and did you know that Tom Hardy's actually like really into BJJ?
I've seen the posts. Yes.
I wonder. The only reason I bring it up is I wonder if that was something he got into after like training for Warrior, or if that was before Warrior. Something he was into before then. I don't know why this interests me. It just does.
I can't think of anything I'm less interested in, but I will tell you.
You didn't like that movie either, did you?
No, I hated it.
That's what
Hated it. I will tell you that it is the trendy thing for Hollywood actors and actresses or whoever, just Hollywood in general, to do is take jujitsu.
What do you mean trendy? Like
It's like the thing. It's like the thing to do. It's like the thing to do for them to like stay active and train and whatever.
Okay.
It used to be boxing. It used to be kickboxing. It used to be Krav Maga. It used to be this. It's jujitsu now, which is good for them. Like Jonah Hill's really big into it. And who's one of the other guys? Let me think. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hey, this is a topic we didn't plan on talking about, but I'm curious. Welcome to Wrexham. You did watch that, right?
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing?
Well, I've watched up till whatever the last episode was that came out last week. I know there was probably an episode this week that I have not seen yet.
Wasn't there only 6 episodes?
Maybe not. So yeah, I've seen 6. I know I've seen 6. I've seen up to the point where Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney went to a game. Is that the last episode?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about it?
I was just curious on what your thoughts were on it.
Let me get your thoughts, because you're not a big soccer guy like I am.
I'm not, but I'm actually more interested in soccer now because of that documentary.
God damn it. See, like, couldn't you have waited to the World Cup? The World Cup's in a month, man. The US is in. Couldn't you have waited until then? I was going to try. I was going to take you out. I was going to have you watch a game, try to get you into it. All right. Well, tell me why.
Well, okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, Welcome to Wrexham is a 6-part documentary that came out about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, got together and bought a Welsh soccer team.
Yes.
So it starts from the very beginning of them even attempting to do it.
Well, hold on. It's very important to explain. They bought a Welsh soccer team, which is at the very, very lower level of the Premier League.
Yes.
Like as low as you can get. Yeah. So they bought a failing, dwindling franchise. That the only thing that keeps them alive is the fact that they belong to a small town who, for over a century, has stuck by them.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't buy fucking Manchester United. This is not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not some lucrative thing that they got involved in. It was an easy money venture. Like, this was very risky.
Right. But I mean, how crazy is it that they bought a team before they'd even actually met each other in person?
That I don't know, and I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if I buy that, but continue with
Really?
your. Yeah, I don't know if I buy that. Continue with you. That you see, you're jumping ahead. I derailed you. I apologize. Continue with your
All I was
synopsis.
gonna say is it goes from them at the very beginning of talking about buying a team, and then all the way up to all the kinds of things that they actually have to deal with of being owners on it with a team. And one of my favorite parts is there's a part where they have to actually change out the field, or it's called the pitch, right?
It's the
They have
pitch.
to change
Yes.
out the pitch,
Yeah.
and they say
Very
how much.
very expensive
Yeah,
ordeal.
yeah, to completely take the old one out and put a brand new one in. And Rob just looks at Ryan as like, did you think that this was going to be something we would ever have to deal with by being owners of a soccer team? He's like, no, I thought we would be dealing with, just players and things like that, not the actual pitch of the field and stuff. So I don't know. It was very interesting. I know you're a soccer guy. I had no idea when it come to like the promoting and demoting of teams and all that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
stuff really interests me because that's something that doesn't happen in any other sport ever.
Right.
So and the fact that they bought a failing team. And then I guess my other favorite part, and I guess spoiler alert, I'm giving some of the show away, but when they get to that final game where it's make or break, and they basically told the coach, if you can make it to the playoffs, we won't fire
We
you.
won't fire you. Right. That's at
And
the beginning.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, but they tie.
Yeah. Well, that's
And but means that, I mean, they had to win to go to the playoffs. They freaking tie, and they get rid of him and 11 other players on the team
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to rebuild. That's insane.
Well, that's the biggest piece of shit thing about soccer, or that, and I think that's why Americans, when it comes to fandom, you just don't see it as much in America, is because we don't like sports where you can tie. Even though American football, you can tie.
Yeah,
No one talks about that.
which they shouldn't. I don't know
You
why they do.
shouldn't. It's
But
ridiculous. There should never be a tie in any sport. Play till you win.
right.
But I think that's always been a big criticism of it. But all of the American fans that I know of who follow Premier League soccer avidly love that a team can be demoted or promoted, because
Yeah.
it makes it higher stakes. Every game you play, it's higher stakes. You
Yeah.
know, the St. Louis Cardinals, for instance, if you're a Cardinals fan, you'd never have to worry about them leaving Major League Baseball, other than
Right.
the fact that you don't go to the games, they lose a bunch of money, and they have to move the team out of
Yeah.
town, which will never happen. But like,
Yeah.
just because they lose doesn't necessarily mean that they get demoted. Doesn't care. And that's the thing. You get demoted regardless of attendance. You can fill your stadium every single game. You could sell out every single game, but if you don't win your league, you get demoted to the next level. So for them, like I said, they're at the very lowest level, which the fuck is it called? Do you remember what it's called?
I don't.
I know so the league, the level they were trying to move up to was the National League. And then above that, there's one more, and then you're at Premier League. I think I'm correct on that. But yeah, I think for the people that I know that really do follow soccer more than I do, and actually have like their favorite Premier League team, they love that aspect of it where everything's high stakes. You can't fucking lose. Don't fucking lose. That's it. Ever.
Yeah.
Don't lose ever. In fact, play to tie, and we're okay with it because it just means we got a point,
Yeah.
So the interesting thing to me, like you said, they bought a team before actually meeting each other. I don't know if I buy that. The one thing I will say is that the guy that they hired to run the team, because they don't run the team.
Yeah.
The financial decisions and all of the logistics go through them, meaning like they get reports, but they don't run the team. The guy they hired has been incredibly successful running other franchises.
Yeah.
So when I watch it and I see what they're doing, like they went up to the National League and they got the highest scorer in the National League to come play for Wrexham, which they must have just thrown ungodly amounts of money at that guy at that level for that level of, for the level that they were playing at. And you hear the guys, these guys talk about it. They're like, we don't make millions of dollars.
Right. Well, that's another thing too, is like that each tier that you go down, the money goes down that you make also.
Drastically.
Right.
Like these guys are to the point where like, yeah, we don't play for money. Like,
yeah,
we don't make jack shit. But it is a job. It's a full-time job. It's not like these guys are playing and then going to work at Home Depot. Like, no. This is your job. You just don't get paid a lot to do it.
Yeah.
So, but I do. So again, they hired a good guy to do that. And I do like the way that the documentary is shot as far as the soccer or football aspect goes. Here's what I don't like. And I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, but can Ryan Reynolds stop being Ryan Reynolds for 5 minutes? I understand he's on camera and he needs to be Ryan Reynolds. But when I watch this documentary, it just tells me like, oh yeah. He's the same character in every role he's ever been in. This is just who he is. So he might be the worst actor of all time because they can't put him in any other role other than when he plays Ryan Reynolds himself.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's done a lot of, everything from drama to comedy to everything.
You mean he showed a lot of range in the movie Waiting? Is that what you're teling me?
Dude, that was early on.
Showed a lot of acting range.
I don't know if that's a great movie to choose. That was an early on movie.
Okay. He showed a lot of range in the movie The Change Up.
I don't know if I remember that
exactly. Movie. That's exactly my point. I don't know. I just found it funny. I like the guy. I like the guy. I'm joking around, but it's like, Jesus Christ, can you stop joking for 2 minutes? Like, you can tell Rob McElhenney takes it way, or at least he shows his emotions more than Ryan Reynolds does. So after they rebuild, and it's like fourth game of the season, the following season, after they rebuild, the team draws again. So they tie again. And Rob calls Ryan and he's just like, really, they're talking about, and their conversations are really awkward to me.
Yeah.
It's like a big brother talking to a little brother that he doesn't want to talk to.
Yeah.
Do you get that vibe? Like Ryan Reynolds is the big brother. It's like, I don't talk to this guy right now. He's just going to talk my ear off about nonsense that I don't care about. That's literally what the conversations are like. But yeah, like Rob's like, I'm really sick of these draws. And he's like, we got to think about this, got to think about that. And Ryan's just like, yeah.
But it's also like, I don't know how real it actually is. This is all staged, I'm sure.
But this was a good moment though, because then Rob goes, this feels like the draw of conversations right now.
Yeah.
And Ryan goes, okay, bye. And he just hangs up on him. I was like, these are business partners? Like, what is this? What am I watching?
But then again, like if you're in a business venture like they've got going on, and it just seems like the majority of the stuff you talk about when you're on the phone is like negative for the time being, it's like,
they got to show the lighthearted. Yeah, but the negative I think would do better. But I guess that's what Rob's for, and I guess Ryan's there to kind of pepper in the. I don't know. It's a good show. I enjoy it. I'm really, really interested in it. So look, if you like this show, what I think you should do is you should go out and watch the Sunderland FC documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
Which happened way before this documentary did, which is also about a failing English football club.
Okay.
British football club, if you will. You should watch that. I think you'll like it as much. Now that you've seen this, you've kind of had the Hollywood aspect of it, I think you would like this one too.
Well, like, so even they say that.
But the concept really is the same, by the way.
Even in the show, they say that it's about storyline for the most part, like the storyline behind the team. That's how people get invested with the teams and stuff. How did you decide who you like to watch? Is it because of a storyline? Like how do you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you decide on a team that you like to follow the most?
Random.
Okay.
Random, man. But here's the thing. I'll watch all the games. Like, I don't necessarily have a team.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, I would say Liverpool, just because, honestly, because I think when I started watching, they were on TV the most. Whatever
Okay.
channels I had at the time, they were on the most. Saturdays, Sundays, whatever day it was, during the day, they were just on. But
Okay.
no, I mean, I'll watch any of them, whether it's Premier League, whether it's a Spanish league, German league, you know, uh, what really got me into like what really got me paying attention to professional soccer was the idea of watching the United States compete at the international level, through
Right.
the World Cup, through the Olympics, through the Golden Cup or whatever the case may be. That's what really got me paying attention. And I never really get that jazzed about nationalistic pride when it comes to sports as much as I do with soccer. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because of the one we're not that great at, and we've never really won outside of our, CONCACAF, playing Mexico and Costa Rica and those teams. Outside of that, we've never really won a world tournament. So I think maybe there's that aspect of it. And this was something that was ingrained in me. Maybe it's because I had these British fucks in my house every summer rubbing it in my face. But this was something that was, you know, brought to my attention at a very young age. So, I went to the World Cup when I was 12 years old. I didn't see the United States play, but I went to a game because it was in the United States. The World Cup was hosted in the United States. And, you know, I was very drawn to, I saw Saudi Arabia and Sweden play. That's who I saw play. I saw them at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. And when I went with a cousin of mine at the time. And when I went, every country who was competing in the World Cup had fans outside of the Cotton Bowl, tailgating, partying, doing their thing. And I was very drawn to that. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. Like, this is an atmosphere, and it really is an atmosphere like you'll never fucking see. So once I discovered this, and then I started following United States soccer, I was like, oh wow, like we have a ways to go. Like, I don't know if we're as crazy as other countries when it comes to, and we're not. We're just not. And I've been to several United States games, albeit they were friendlies, is what they're called. They weren't for any major anything. But I'm not saying that we don't have a good fan base. I'm just saying, when you see the Brazilians camped out outside of the Cotton Bowl for the Saudi Arabia Sweden game taking place at 2 p.m., it's a little bit different. It's just, it's hard to explain. You just kind of have to like see it. And I might not even be doing any justice, but I mean, like I said, I saw Brazilians, Nigerians, Swiss fans. I saw German fans. Like, it was nuts to see. It was like a world event in one city in the United States. And this was going on all over the United States. It's not like it was all happening in Dallas. So nonetheless, it's a good show. Sorry, I was going way off base there.
It's kind of like the Olympics, I guess.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'll say bigger because it's only one sport.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has one purpose.
Yeah.
To root for their football team. The Olympics is a bigger because, again, it's everything.
Yeah.
Now you have that nationalistic sort of sense of pride, but I'll be honest with you. I had a friend of mine that went to the Olympics in '96 in Atlanta. And I remember him coming back, and he was like showing me pictures, and I was just being like, that seems underwhelming. It just seemed kind of like everyone was just chilling.
Okay.
There wasn't like a buzz.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it was the events that he went to, and you can't get into everything. You don't have, it's not like you can just walk from you couldn't go watch Michael Johnson run the 200 meters and then go watch the basketball team play and then go watch, but it felt boring to me.
The the weirdest thing about the Olympics to me that's, I don't know, it's just always made me feel weird is how players on, in certain sports will play for their home country, even though like they're on a team in the US. I don't know
See, I
why
really
that,
like that.
I think it's cool. I just
I
think
fucking love that, dude.
it's just odd, right?
Well, no, it's not, dude. It's not. I mean, if Manu Ginobili played for the United States basketball team instead of the Argentinian basketball team, he would be killed if he went back to Argentina. You know,
Okay.
if Dirk played for the United States instead of Germany,
Yeah.
he probably should have, because the German team was garbage. But you just did you? Oh, by the way, did you see that the dude from what's the Adam Sandler basketball movie? Hustle. Is it called
Yeah.
Hustle?
Yeah.
Did you see he played in some tournament for Spain and just balled his fucking brains out? And they won the
Really?
tournament. Yeah, for Spain. Yeah, in the
Nice.
finals, they played. I don't know, remember who they played in the finals of whatever this tournament was, but it was a international tournament. Like in the finals, he had like 27, 12, and 10. Like just balled his fucking mind out. Yeah,
Nice.
good for that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Welcome to Wrexham. Go watch it, kids. I don't know. I don't tell you. I don't know. Are you caught up on your Cobra Kai?
I have not watched any of it.
What a fucking loser. That's fine. You don't need to watch it.
Are you?
Oh, I finished it last night. Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
And I can't believe it. They're going to make another season. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I can. It's bringing in the bucks.
That's what my wife said.
It's been a huge hit.
Yeah, she posted too. Like after, I think she was like in the room with me after I watched maybe the third or fourth episode, and she posted on social media. She was like, how like Facebook you can watching Cobra Kai, and she's like, my husband fell asleep while watching Game of Thrones, but he watches this bullshit. Like I sure do. Also, Game of Thrones is terrible.
That's another show that I haven't watched 1 minute of.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I watched 5 minutes and I fell asleep. And then I woke up to a guy having his skull crushed with someone's bare hands, and I fell back asleep after that. I was like, oh, look at that. And I felt just fine, whatever. It's so boring. Yeah.
I feel like I get into shows like 5 years late on stuff. I like Game of Thrones, I guess has probably been out for
long time.
A long time. But yeah, that's one I hadn't really gotten into. But like even shows that were massive, like Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy and other shows like that. Like I was way late to the game on those. And I think it's just because I don't like being part of the trend at the time. I guess
that's a weird way to look at it, but I guess
it is. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, the two shows you just mentioned, I tried during the moment and I just couldn't. I watched the first season of Breaking Bad and I was not into it, but I just made my way through it. And then second season started. I tried to keep up every week and I was like, no, I'm done. And I haven't watched a single episode since season 2, episode 2.
Wow.
I don't care.
I would, and then I was
Sons of Anarchy, the same thing. I watched 2 episodes of season 1 and I was like, this is not, I am not the target demo of this show. I know though.
Yeah. I was also I was probably 10 years late on Dexter.
Really?
Yeah. I was really late on it. I don't even know why I started watching it. Maybe because it was on Netflix or something. I don't know, but.
Yeah, Dexter, I was in right away. On Dexter. Sopranos, I was in right away. Ozark, obviously, because we've been talking about it since it came out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another big one. Shameless, I was in right away.
I was late, but not for any reason besides I didn't know what it was until I started watching it.
Did you watch Oz?
No.
Yeah. See, I only watched, again, that's another one where I started it and didn't finish the first season. And I kind of want to go back and watch it. just because it had so many crazy good actors and so many people who have gone on to do bigger things than Oz. I kind of want to go back and just watch it and see if it even holds. It probably doesn't hold up at all.
Yeah.
But
What was the show they say was so good back in
The
I guess
Wire.
The Wire, that's it. Yeah.
Wire's great.
I've never seen a minute, but I've heard that it's really good.
So not Lenny, you got to watch The Wire because it is great. But you got to think about it took place over 10 years ago.
Right.
So place it in that time period because there are going to be a lot of like outdated things you see and like, but no, The Wire's great. The Wire's great. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think you'd like it. There was a show. You ever watch the show New York Undercover? But it was a 90s show. It's very like urban, sort of like one of those cutting edge urban shows, right? All the latest hip hop was in it. And like the two undercover detectives were really cool and they dressed cool. And like during the time when it came out, I fucking loved it. I lived for that show. I had to see every episode and I watched it like a couple months ago. Like it's on Hulu or one of these channels now. And I started like 5 minutes into the pilot episode. I was like, man, I was a cheese ball. Like I was a stupid, naive white kid. And I guarantee you that's what they're going for. Like, we got to get the young white male. That's who's going to watch this show. And it was bad, really bad. Shout out to, I don't even remember the guy's names. Damn it. I know one of the guys is Michael DiLorenzo. He was the Hispanic cop. I can't remember. Anyway, before we go, we got to talk about Post Malone.
Yes.
Now, before we talk about what happened, and it's very important to talk about what happened because it happened in our city.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Post Malone fan?
I'm going to give you
because I've told you to check him out, and obviously you didn't listen to me.
I have listened to some of it.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. There's a few songs that I could listen to, but it's not like I'm not gonna listen to every album.
So like his hits, do you like any of the hits? So like Circles, Congratulations, like any of these songs that were, or like Rockstar?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't like I said, I haven't listened to it enough to know like what the names of each of the songs are. Circles, I know, yes. I do know Circles, but other than that.
Okay. So I'm a fan. And my wife and I recently we've watched him on like a couple of different shows. Like I know he did like a day drinking thing with not Jimmy Fallon. Who's the other guy that does a late night TV show? Motherfucker. He used to be on Saturday Night Live. What's the guy's name? Oh, Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers.
Okay.
He has a show. He has one of those late night shows. So anyway, Post Malone was on it, and they had this like this bit where they did like they day drank. That's essentially what it was. It's just literally them getting shit faced during the day at a bar.
Okay.
And I remember watching that with her, and we watched a couple other things, and I was just like, dude, he just seems like a really down to earth, just fucking cool dude to hang out with. Like, I want to have a beer with the guy. Like, I just want to like talk to him and fucking rap, like just talk about music. Like, he obviously is a music nut. Like, he obviously like gets it. Like, I think the first time where he really like won me over, and I had started listening to him before that, was during the pandemic when he did that whole Nirvana cover set from his own house.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is, and I don't know what it is. Again, maybe this is like just a testament to like me getting older, and it was like a nostalgia thing for me. But I heard many people back me up on this. Is like, man, it's pretty fucking cool, because it wasn't about him. It was about people. It was about his audience. Like, I want to give you content, but I'm gonna make it cool. I'm gonna make it different. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's when he really started winning me over. But so this past weekend, he injured himself while performing here in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Basically fell through the stage, broke a couple of ribs. Clearly, when I'm sure everyone's seen the video by now, if you're not living under a rock. But
was that Scott Trade, right?
It's called the Enterprise Center now. But yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah,
whatever corporate He was at the corporate arena. Yes. Yes. And you've seen the video by now.
Yes.
I was a fan of him before. I'm definitely a fan of him now because that was brutal. He broke a couple of ribs. He took 10 minutes, came back out, and did a couple more songs. And he's still on tour right now.
Wow.
I know you can't do anything about broken ribs. There's no surgery. There's no, I mean, you have to worry about a punctured lung, but like, you can't do anything about it. So it's like he's performing in pain. But shout out to him, dude. For real.
You know what impresses me most about him, though, is apparently he smokes an ungodly amount of cigarettes every day.
Oh, yeah. He's a chain smoker for sure.
Yeah, but it's like apparently worse than chain smoking. It's like back to back to back to back, all like multiple packs of cigarettes a day.
Well, he's in his 20s still. So don't do that for another 20 years. But
right.
Why does that impress you?
Because, well, I mean, I guess just because I would think that would massively affect his singing.
I'm glad you brought this up. So I want to talk about something, and I'm not doing it out of disrespect. Okay. If you've seen the video of him falling, it's very clear that during that fall, he was not singing a lick.
Okay.
So now we've talked about this on many other episodes before this. Tracks are tracks are tracks, and people use them, especially pop artists. But let me just be very clear. That dude was not singing that song. Not during the moment that he fell.
I'll say, do you think that it's just certain parts of certain songs? Do you think it's certain songs? Or do you think it's his whole set?
Well, let me say this. When you are playing an arena of that size and you have so many hits, it's pretty easy to get away with it. There are less expectations of you from your audience. They want to hear congratulations. That's the song. Was it? Yeah, it was Congratulations that he fell. I'm pretty sure. Season change. No, it was Circles. It was Circles. Okay. So like, people want to hear Circles, and they don't really care how they hear it. They just want to hear it. That's why they paid $75 to see you play. You know? Again, I'm not hating, but he wasn't singing.
No, but that kind of goes back to that, like that Bon Jovi conversation we had, right? Where there's
I don't think this is the same, bro.
You don't think so?
No, I think this is just a part of the routine. This is a part of him being Post Malone. You're a global superstar. You don't need to sing every song. You really don't. I don't like saying that, but he doesn't. Especially that, dude. It's him solo on stage, dancing around, going from one side of the stage to the other. Do those vocals need to be perfect, especially on a giant hit? No.
Right.
I've seen him sing. We've all seen him sing. You know, we know that he can sing. Yeah. That's not the case. I mean, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is just the simple fact, like, smoking or not, falling or not, he wasn't singing during that song, during that part. So
okay. All right.
I think he's a G. He came back out, he performed, whether he sang or not during that. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but good for him, dude. I'm a fan. I want to be the first to say it.
You know, that brings up another topic too, is if he had broken ribs, does having tracks on the rest of his songs that he would be singing on during his set, does that change his mind on going back out there or not? Like if he
1000%. Yes.
I'm sure it's not easy to sing with broken ribs, but if you don't have to do much of the singing, then all right, let's fight. Let's fight through this.
It would suck to sing with broken ribs, dude.
Yeah.
Because you're using like, if you're a singer, you're using everything. It's coming from your gut.
Yeah.
You know, you're using your ribs in a way. So yeah, no. So
I think the only other cool story like that I've heard is the one where Dave Grohl broke his leg foot and then just had it all casted up and then came back out and just sat on that throne and finished it out.
I saw him in St. Louis on the throne.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, he finished that show too.
Yeah.
When he fell, which is well, yeah. So anyway, like with Post Malone though, like I immediately posted, no pun intended, I immediately posted on social media. I was like, why the fuck is there a hole in this stage?
Yeah.
And it took like several hours, and then someone responded to my post being like, I think someone, like, it was where something came up, but it went back down and it was supposed to close, but it didn't close. I'm like, oh, so you're giving me the worst possible answer is that someone fucked up and they're responsible for him breaking. Like, like I thought it was just this was just like a brief thought that I have. Like, I thought it would. He was grabbing stuff from there, so he wanted it open. Like guitars would come up, and he just kind of wanted it to be that way, easy access. He didn't want to have to like. Neither one makes sense necessarily. Yeah. Just have a tech run a guitar out to you, but like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's the worst possible answer you could have given me. Like, oh, somebody fucked up, and now he's hurt, and all of these people are fucked out of a show. But good for him for coming back out. I like him.
With coming full circle about media getting involved in everything, like it's better off that there is no answer, because if not, we're going to be digging in to find out who actually fucked up. And let's find the name of the guy that could have, punctured Post Malone's lung.
Well, I mean, it's someone in his crew. I mean, that's who's in charge of, well, stage crew, production crew, I would imagine.
I would think.
Everybody's insured, so it'll be fine.
How's your Browns doing over there?
I believe it's, oh shit, 14-7 Browns. Jacoby's lighting it up, dude.
Oh, is he? Or is Nick Chubb just
two pass TDs? No, 2 pass TDs. Amari Cooper and now Joku.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
dude, I have to get Denver on the right track. They are not looking good.
Yeah, I texted you. Russell Wilson does not look great during that game, and you did not respond. So I guess you were not having a good time. But
I don't understand what's happening. Like the first game they lost, they fumbled twice on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
On running plays. Like that should have been an easy win for a game. But Russell Wilson just isn't playing like Russell Wilson. I don't know what's happening.
Let me ask you something. When's the last time he did play like Russell Wilson?
I mean, he's played pretty decent like the last few seasons, I think.
So do you think a decent quarterback deserves 270, 50? What did he get? 250?
I think it was like 254, 258 or something like that.
You think a decent quarterback deserves that, or an elite quarterback deserves that? Well, let me ask you this. How many $250 million contracts has Tom Brady received or been given?
Well, this goes back. We've had this conversation, and this is the whole Tom Brady thing where he has taken less money to have.
I can't believe I'm saying a good thing about Tom Brady right now, but
dude, have you seen him? Did you watch the Tampa Bay game last week?
Who'd they play?
I don't remember.
They played Dallas week 1, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know. I did not watch them last week.
I don't know if
they played this. It was the Saints because there was that fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's personal life stuff going on, because apparently there is a bunch of stuff going on with Tom Brady.
I read that too, but
whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, he is pissed off at the world right now, it seems like. And
his face is shrinking.
He was throwing tablets and all this other stuff. And then that whole fight that happened was because of Tom Brady. He got up in the guy's face and was yelling at him. And then Bruce Arians was standing on the sidelines and told Mike Evans to go in there and protect Tom Brady.
And then Mike Evans to the rest was like, "That's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do?"
So then he did. And then he got suspended.
Headhunt somebody? It's like, let that little bitch protect himself.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't believe I just said a good thing about Tom Brady. I'm really upset with myself.
I mean, my feelings. I'm not a fan. I respect what he's done, but I'm not
Yeah, fuck them.
a fan, but it could be fun to watch him if this is how the year is going to go. If he's just going to be pissed off at the world for the whole season.
You want to watch a pissed off Tom Brady? I mean, yeah. I mean, to see him kind of self-destruct in the playoffs would be fun, I guess. But I don't know. Before we go, are you texted me this the other day? Are you going to Point Fest?
Yes, we are.
You are going.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited to see?
Papa Roach. Well, I take that back. As far as like main stage band goes, it would be Papa Roach. But actually I like Yellow Wolf also.
Okay.
He got added to the lineup with Shooter Jennings. Isn't that Waylon Jennings' son?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not a big Yellow Wolf fan.
Gotcha. But anyways,
Yeah.
I am excited to see Brook Royal also. It's been a
Okay.
long time since I've seen them play.
I was going to say, of all the bands listed, aside from local bands that I know, Brook Royal and Papa Roach are the only ones I give two shits about.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
can't really think of. So it's Papa Roach, Hailstorm, Highly Suspect.
Yep.
The Struts. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah. The main reason we're going is because I've still got the tickets from the original Point Fest. They got canceled. And it's just a day for me and my wife to kind of get out and just listen to some music and drink and
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
hang out.
I would join you, but I got college football to watch. I got boxing to watch. I think I'm just going to chill at home.
Yeah.
You never know. You might see me there. I'll let you know. Can I tell you why I don't like Yellow Wolf?
Yes. Because Eminem signed him.
Oh, is that real? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes it worse. I didn't know that. So add that to the list. No, he fought really hard before he really became the rock musician that he is now, the rock country musician that he is now. When he was still very much hip hop, he would go on hip hop radio stations and get interviewed by hip hop magazines, and they would ask him about him rocking the Confederate flag, and he would defend it hard. Now, for me, that took balls. Like when you go into fucking the Breakfast Club or you go on Ebro and you talk about how you're not going to stop rocking the Confederate flag because it's the way you grew up or whatever is, he did one of those whole thing. Like it's a part of my culture and the way I grew up, and it means more to us than just this and that.
Right.
That took balls, especially when you go into these hip hop stations, but also it's like, so what, man? Let go of it. It's gross. You are a part of a primarily African-American culture, and they've let you in. Let go of that, dude.
Yeah.
So when he did that, when he fought so hard for it, I was like, oh God. But then now again, he was doing that, and I was like, well, that took balls. And I was never into his music anyway. So don't by any means think this has anything to do with music. This is just personality shit.
Yeah.
But then when he comes out with this rock shit, which like he had that song on The Point that got played quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm hearing it in my he had a couple. American You was one.
That one, but the one before it.
Till it's gone.
Yeah. So when that comes out, and then he's kind of like rebranded himself, and he's got this new image of like the hats and the fucking cowboy boots, and I'm like, oh dude, I'm out big time. Like I can't like, that's just not for me. Again, that's not for me. Although I did get a pair of cowboy boots for my birthday as a joke.
I'm glad you said as a joke.
As a joke. It was a bottle of Bailey's in a boot and a pair of cowboy boots. Do you know what that's? Do you know who Old Greg is? Do you know that old skit?
The
Papa Moon. That's it. Come on. Oh. Ah. Hi there. Who are you?
I'm old Greg.
What
Nice
is
to meet ya.
happening?
What do you want?
Maybe I should ask you the same question. What you doing in my waters?
Just taking the air, you know, not fishing.
But then how come this hook's in my head, fool?
It's nothing to do with me, sir.
It's attached to your rod, mother liquor.
Don't kill me. I've got so much to give.
Easy now, fuzzy little man Peach. You ever drunk Bailey's from a shoe?
What?
Gonna come to a club where people wee on each other?
No.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Excuse me.
I like you. What do you think of me?
I don't rightly know, sir.
Make an assessment.
I think you're a nice modern gentleman.
Don't lie to me, boy.
I'm not lying.
I know what you're thinking. Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish. You don't know me. You don't know what I got. I got something to show you. You know what that is? That's old Greg's vagina. I got a mangina. I'm old Greg.
Oh man.
What? I don't know what I just watched.
I know. I know. Just watch more. Just watch old Greg Bailey's.
Okay.
So anyway, my brother-in-law, we have this ongoing thing with old Greg. And do you like Bailey's? Do you love me, you fuzzy little man, Peach? He got me Bailey's.
It reminded me of like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so the guy, I can't remember who the guy is that plays old Greg. He's somebody. He's been in other shit. But anyway.
It reminds me of Dave Chappelle doing Prince.
A little bit. Sadly, yes. A little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't know. But now I have a pair of cowboy boots that I'm never going to put on. I actually want to throw them away. Never going to wear them. Not even close, but.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, so when's your birthday?
Monday.
It's Monday. Nice.
Yeah.
The big
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could pass for 25. You're lucky in that way. Yeah. And you have a good birthday.
I'm not going to do anything. You already celebrated my birthday with me.
I did.
Yeah,
but you didn't want to talk about it.
Well, I didn't. I don't. We had a party. You were there. It was fun. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
All right, we're out.
Later.